Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to talk about why your cold emails aren't getting meetings and how to fix it. So, I'm sure you've been in this situation before. If you've ever ran cold email, you're crafting cold emails for hours on end, what you think is going to be the perfect cold email sequence, you finally dial in the offer, you carefully build your list and edit multiple spreadsheets for long amounts of time, you hit send, feeling both hopeful and excited, and then nothing. There's no replies, no meetings, just silence. You might get a few replies, but none of them positive. It's a really depressing feeling. And all the software costs, the email accounts that you paid for, the new domains that you just bought for this, all have gone to waste, or so it seems. I have been there myself, of course, and in that moment it's easy to think cold email doesn't work. That's what a lot of people say. But here's the truth, cold email does work, it's simply a skill issue. You just have to know what to fix, and that's what I'm going to teach you today. But who the hell am I, and why listen to anything that I say to begin with? Well, I've sent hundreds of thousands of cold emails before. I've booked over 1,000 sales calls and counting personally. That's before I hired any inbox managers, all with just cold email. And here's some of my client case study results. We actually booked 40 appointments within the first 7 weeks for Alexi, and now we're doing up to 62 calls booked per month. For Maycheck here, I booked 139 appointments within the first 8 months and 40 appointments in a single month. This is all with cold email. James, who runs a Google Ads agency, closed 3 clients from my cold emails within a space of 49 days, each client worth between 15k to 30k LTV. Eric here booked 19 appointments within the first month. Sophie closed 16k cash collected in the first 40 days. Lucas and Gustavo, we booked 19 appointments within the first 31 days for a CRO offer. 20 appointments per month and a handful of deals closed within that same month for Josh and Tyler. For Joel at Webolutions, we're booking 14 calls per month with employee counts of 20 plus. And 19 appointments booked within the first month for Paris here. We're at now 20 plus for Paris. So, let's get into the meat of the video. Mission 1, you have to think of this like a video game, and you can't really complete level 2 until you've first completed level 1, right? And so we have to do it in this order. So we're going to look at the entire cold email funnel, and then we're going to assess where is the bottleneck. So this would be the first possible bottleneck that you will encounter. And it's probably where most of you will actually end up, because it's a difficult one to solve. This is arguably the hardest one, is mission 1, generating positive replies. There's just a lot to this. It's not as simple as it seems. So the problem is that you're not generating enough positive replies. Why? Now there's only going to be mechanical bottlenecks or mental bottlenecks. So I'm going to teach you every feasible reason I can think of why it won't be working for you. And you need to go through this list and you need to see, what am I possibly doing wrong? Because this will inform you of what you need to tweak to actually get your results better. So, A, you don't know how to set up the infrastructure properly. B, you're not sending enough emails. I see this all of the time. My default sending amount for clients is at least 1,000 emails per day. You're using the wrong tools to send emails with. I've met people that are trying to send emails with like Apollo or Go High Level. It doesn't work. Just use Smartly.instantly or Email Bison for sending. For infrastructure, for the email domains just go to Dynadot or Porkbun. For email accounts, only ever get Outlook, Microsoft, or Gmail. That's it. Sometimes I see people not cleaning or verifying your lead lists. And so what happens is, if they're not clean, then your emails start bouncing, and because they start bouncing, then your domain goes to shit, and now you're not landing in the inbox for anyone. And so now you have to get infrastructure all over again, wait 2 weeks for it to warm up. It's a nightmare. Don't skip that step. You don't know how to create a compelling front-end offer. There's all sorts of, I'm not going to cover that in today's video, maybe another day, but there are all sorts of videos, especially Alex or Mosey, that can talk to you about offers. But it needs to be, and Daniel Fazio, it needs to be a front-end, cold traffic ready offer. It's just to open the door to a conversation. You're not trying to screw them on the first date, so to speak. You're just opening the door. It needs to be an offer that opens the door and actually gets them to respond positively. And usually how I like to do that, it's either going to be like a Hormozy, sexy, like value equation style offer that's, I call it a direct offer, or it's going to be a piece of free work, so a service-based lead magnet instead. Another thing, your offer has no demand. It might be a good offer on paper, but if no one wants it, then it's not really a good offer. You're targeting the wrong people for your offer. Sometimes your offer is going to work, you're just targeting the wrong ICP for it. There's tons of demand elsewhere in another niche, whereas there just isn't in the niche that you originally want to go for. That happens all the time. Sometimes you're just lazy at testing. I like to reiterate, I like to look at the data every single week for every single one of my clients and say, is it working? If not, what do we need to change? And we come up with a new hypothesis and a new experiment to test. And so the great thing with cold email is that there's a really fast feedback loop, and so you can reiterate really quickly. Unlike content, say. You might be using spam words in your messaging. SmartLead has like a native spam checker. If not, use Meteor. It's free. Not affiliated. You're not converting your offer clearly. You're not conveying your offer clearly. So you're just talking about gobbledygook. Like, your offer doesn't even make sense. You're using acronyms that your prospect won't even understand. That can break an entire cold email campaign right there. Or it's too long or too complicated. Try and make it 50 words or under, the opening first email that they receive. Absolute max 150 is what I recommend. You might be sending too many emails from each individual account. So if you're using Gmail, you can send like 10 to 20 at a push per email per day. For Outlook, it's more like 2 to 4 emails per day. You have a vitamin offer, not a painkiller offer. This goes back to it being a front-end cold traffic ready offer. If it needs to solve a painful problem, otherwise people just won't respond. So a vitamin offer is like a nice to have, but a painkiller offer is a need to have. So you need to create your offer and make it a need to have. Your subject line screams sales pitch. If they can tell what the offer is and you've not even had a chance to explain it properly with like a decent hook, then they're not even going to bother opening the email to begin with. You've been using the same infrastructure for too long and it's burning. Sometimes your email accounts just degrade in quality and you'll be hitting the inbox less and less over time. So you need to get new infrastructure and keep the ones that are working, discard the ones that are not working, buy new domains and email accounts. Your messaging might make you sound like a bot, super boring, or like super corporate. It feels so non-human and so inauthentic that you just won't get a reply because they'll think it's AI. Your CTA is too hard, like, hey, would you like to buy? Not really that, but like, would you be open for a quick chat? There are lots of softer CTAs that are way better, that will convert more booked calls in the end. Your time is minuscule. If it's below 10K, I think, I don't know, pick a niche with more than 10K. When I'm taking on a client, I look for like 50K plus that we can reach out to. That would be ideal, because then we can just hammer email volume more, right? And here are the mental bottlenecks. You don't want to waste money. Of course you don't. No one wants to waste money. But sometimes you're going to have to deploy your resources that you do have, this leverage that you accumulate. I'm sure you have like a little bit of money if you're in this position of running cold emails to begin with. Well, there isn't going to be an ROI straight away, right? And so you're going to have to waste money to make money in the long term. You might not want to invest all the time and effort and not get results after the fact. Well, that's fine too, obviously. But if you're deploying the time and effort, then you will get the results. If you just listen to videos like this and just like keep learning like I did, then you will get good at it. It's just a skill. It's just reps. Another mental bottleneck, you're afraid to confront the mountain of tasks above, which is fair enough. But you're just going to have to get over that because guess what? Making lots of money is hard work. At least initially. Alrighty. So mission 2. Once you're generating a good amount of positive replies, then we need to convert these positive replies into meetings, of course. So the problem here is that you're not getting meetings. You're generating positive replies, but they're not converting into meetings. So what gives? Why? Well, here are all the mechanical bottlenecks. Your speed to lead time is too slow. Like, you need to be replying within half an hour, ideally. Or in an ideal world, as soon as possible, like instantly. But if you can't do that, then like make it at least the same day. If you're taking days to respond to them, then the lead is just going to go dead. Giving them unnecessary homework they never asked for. So like, don't send them loads of videos and case studies if they didn't ask for that. Sometimes they'll ask, do you have any case studies? Or can you send more info? In those cases, send the stuff. But if you're just trying to, if it's just a yes, I'm interested, then don't give them loads of, it's just adding friction for them to actually get on a meeting with you. Just be very direct and say, okay, cool, well, can we set up a meeting for this reason? Because we're going to need to go over X, Y, Z for you to get the thing that you're interested in. Another thing, not following up frequently. So I like to follow up at least once, but ideally 2 times per week. You can do 3 times a week, although I don't know how prospects would feel about that. I used to do 3 times a week, but some of them would get a bit annoyed. But I guess that's what you want in a weird way, because you either want a yes or a no. So up to you, but I would say like between 1 and 3 times a week. Lazy follow-ups, you're just not actually, you're just treating them like a number and not an individual. And so I like to go on their website or like at least read the email thread and all of the objections that they had prior and think to yourself, what are they probably thinking right now? Not answering their questions, objections, or concerns. So sometimes a prospect will ask for case studies and then you'll just ignore the fact that they asked for case studies. And so they'll get annoyed by that, obviously, rightfully so. Another thing, not asking for the call. So you just don't ask to book a call. At the end of every email, I like to tell my inbox managers, just ask for the call in a really soft way. Just every time. You can do it 3, 4, 5 times in a row. As long as you do it in a non-annoying way, and you've overcome each objection every time, then eventually they will book a call, if they're satisfied with your answers. Again, messaging too long, too complicated. Or you're not giving them a good reason as to why they should get on the call. Like, if you're offering a piece of free work, then make sure that, like, you say to them, hey, well, it's gonna require a call for us to know this information so that we can deliver on the free thing that you want. Okay, mental bottlenecks. You make negative assumptions if you see a reply that's not 100% keen to hop on a call straight away. Obviously, most of the interested replies / opportunities will have some sort of objection that you have to overcome. That's completely normal, and these people will book a call. Next, you're afraid of talking to strangers and getting rejected because it's emotionally painful. You just need to grow up here and be an adult and just recognize that this is part of the game. It's totally fine, completely normal, and everyone has to go through this, so it's nothing new, I'm afraid. Next, you're afraid of selling to cold prospects because you think you'll be seen as evil or annoying. Again, just grow up. We live in the real world here, and I don't know what to say if that's your attitude. You're just going to have to get over that. So mission 3, converting meetings into clients. So this is the most tragic scenario of all, where you're booking tons of qualified calls and you're still not closing. What this means is that you're bad at closing. It is a skill issue. It's your fault. I want you to know this. It's your fault, okay? So you need to fix the sales process. This is how. So why? The mechanical bottlenecks will be, you're not doing basic things like showing up on time. You're not following up with no-shows. These people close all of the time, or reschedule at the very least. You send them too much homework pre-call, like we've talked about before. You send them 0 reminders pre-call. This is the big one. You're priced incorrectly for your level of authority. You're trying to sell fat retainers when the market doesn't really buy fat retainers from people with your level of authority. And so you need to compensate with a better offer. That's the only way you're going to win this business. And yeah, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable and you think that you shouldn't have to do that, but guess what? You are going to have to do that. Things like you don't use an ROI calculator, or you're not conveying the monetary value of your service. The sales call has to be about how much money they're going to spend and how much potential money they're going to make back, and the likelihood of success that will actually happen. All that should be the entire sales call of a demo, of the second call when you're pitching these people. Another thing, you don't have a risk reversal in your offer, especially if you have low authority and credibility. You're not leveraging your case studies proof of results enough. Talk them through, just like I did at the beginning of this video, all of the results that you've been able to deliver for clients, and it has to be objective numbers. This is a painful one, but you might just be unlikable, come across as untrustworthy in the eyes of your prospects. Some people just don't have it. I don't know what's with them. They're like socially awkward, but that can be worked on. That's a skill issue also, but it's going to require more reps for you than the average person probably. Or you have 0 online social presence and therefore look like a black hat scammer. Okay, so what are the mental bottlenecks? You're scared to fulfill after they close. You're afraid you won't get good results for them. You believe sales / money is evil. You know your service is bad, so you don't want to sell your services because more people will know it's bad, and that comes across in your energy. So all of these mental bottlenecks are actually more difficult to get over than the mechanical bottlenecks. So you're going to have to work internally on these things, but just be wary of them. And that's it for the end of the video. So if you would like a free consultation with me, I'll try and help you for free if I can. And of course, if you're qualified and want to become a client of mine, then I'm going to pitch you. Don't worry, I will do it. So here's my calendar link, and I hope to speak to you soon. That's the end of the video. Bye.